You trivia people. We're going to have Trivia Sunday today. And I want to ask you a question. And that ain't going to be the answer you expect. What book is not read, but it's mostly used? It is still practiced to this day. And although few have read it, the rule still applies. I'm going to give you a few seconds. Tick, 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 bing. If you sin the Bible, you are wrong. The book, How to Make a Slave by Lynch, is the most popular book in the Black American society today. Because, see, if you notice, we don't want to look at our past. See, Italians, they still have their tradition, their Italian tradition. Jews have their traditions. Let's see, most Haitians have their traditions. Puerto Ricans have their traditions. Let's say white folks have their traditions. Because we think that racism is born, but in reality, it is taught. But black folks have ceased to teach their people, their children, their grandbabies, their babies, the mothers about our Americans, the black ones, how we became who we are. See, you hear so many young ones. That's why you hear so many young ones say, well, that was a long time ago. This 2025. But the funny part is that the book on How to Make a Slave by Lynch still exists and being applied today. But you still think that, now that's a book. That book was written in the 1800s. Did you know that? And I'm going to tell you some excerpts of Lynch. It taught how to break a slave. How you break. That's how you came out with, what you call that? They call it bulk breaking. And how they did women. And how they gaped women and made them feel demeanor and then build them up with their way. See, because our culture, a lot of our culture arrived from different places. All of us didn't come from Africa. Some of us came from parts of Africa, but most of us came from other continents. And some of us got dropped off at other continents, and that's how we became who we are today. But when you talk to because if you don't know where you've been, how do you know where you're going? That's what my elders used to teach me. And lately, for the moment, sometimes I come outside and I just sit and just close my eyes, and I feel like I'm listening to them. I'm hearing my ancestors. But see, you would know that because if you don't know your past, how do you know your future? It's just like somebody telling you to go to a city and giving you gas money, and don't give you directions where to go or how to get to the city. Yeah, that old How to Make a Slave book, it's still impacting us because it's teaching us how to divide. See, that's what they did. They took all these tribes that they didn't know each other, and they turned them against each other. Then they brought them here. And how do you tell a warrior who's been in a tribe and who was raised up to be a man and to be a provider and do all this? How do you break that person? Well, you do things that is not normal to them. We both know that black men were gaped too during the tribe. We do know that. We know that they used babies in the Florida and Missouri and Louisiana to bait alligators. We do know that. We also know that, they put the lighter ones in the house. We put the lighter ones that were the ones that was in the house, that they were more considered lovelier and beautiful than the dark ones. They depicted black folks, the darker ones, with big red lips and big bulgy eyes. We do know that. So it turned the brown skin or the dark skinned black woman against the fair skinned black woman. That's what was told in the book, and that still was applied today. That's why y'all challenge the blackness and stuff. That's why Trump was so quick to say, well, I didn't know she was black. Okay, that's how they got you. That's how they got you. That's how they got you, black folks. Then they had, now that in order for them to be able to run and get them strong bucks and stuff, they couldn't have just got them and with them knickers and them ugly shoes. No, they had to have somebody that was able to run fast and do that. And then when they came to the country, they still had to have that one that was an overseer that was, made sure that the one that was beating them and stuff, because they had an overseer, and then the slave owner had his little black overseer. They had to make sure that, they had a snitch in the group. Y'all know who I'm talking about. And most of the field hands said, I'm ready to be free by any means necessary. But the ones in the house that was eating good and living good and they was at that point where they was barely surviving, or they was just, they kept the master off of them. Said, well, no, I'm not finna mess up this. No, what better place to be? That's what Malcolm X said. And see, as the women was getting gaped, see, some of us start losing our dark. Woo! Had to catch myself. Our dark pigmentation. That's why you got so many colors of black. You got that white black. That's that passing. Then you got that buttercream, mocha, butterscotch, pumpkin lights. And then you got street black, dark black, midnight black, woo-wee black. That's what you got. What's that actor's name? He married Russell Simmons' ex-wife. That's that woo-wee black. Woo-wee. That's the sexy black. So they brought us here, and we went through Jim Crow. Because see, back in the day, when I say back in the day, see, black folks, when they became free, they had their own. They had to build their own. They had to build their own. It wasn't by choice, it was by force. Because in order for them to eat, bank, have businesses and stuff, they had to have dollars too. But we don't have to go through none of that, do we? We don't have to go through, ain't this a world where we don't have to go through racism? We don't have to go through being lynched. No, that can't be. No, because people say in the black community, these young black folks, that was back in the 60s. No, so black folks are not being lynched. Sandra Bland. Black folks are having the upright justice as white folks. George Floyd. Tyre Nichols. Black folks are not, we don't have to worry about nothing being discriminated against housing. No, we don't. No. That was back in the days. We don't need that now. We don't have to worry about being cut from a job because of our color. Title 7. Who said that? We don't have to worry about us not being able to get a home. Fair Housing Act. If I'm gay. See, black folks, we made that foundation. All the gay rights, all these disability rights, all these other things started from our persecution, but we don't have to worry about that. It's okay now. This city, this country is so perfect that we can take away that. We can let Trump take that away from us. Because you know why? We can let Trump take away from us because that was back in the 60s and 50s and 60s. This 2020 now, 2025, we don't have to fight no more. All we do is go twerk and wear skinny outfits and talk about somebody cheating. Talk about fighting. No. Even though that may be the majority of folks, white folks on SNAP benefits, the point is that there are some blacks on SNAP benefits. There are some Puerto Ricans on SNAP benefits. There are some folks who still need, and it's the best part about it is that while we sitting up here fighting over who, what you call her, dirty names, I noticed something. Black folks, when folks are trying to do good in this country, we don't want to vote for them. But when black folks are using us to better their own situation and even sell us out, we defend them. So let's get this right. So Trump, they defended, tell me one white America that didn't, other than the MAGA supported Trump. And these so-called gullible white folks that said, hey, I voted for the economy, which he never talked about how he was going to do it. But you voted for him. Then nobody questioned was Trump using the birthright citizenship in MAGA. Nobody fought for that. I didn't hear no black folks say that. Black folks defended him and said that, hey, he was a businessman. Because he talked loud. See, that's how we relate. We got to talk loud and crazy and stuff. Oh, that's my president. He talking so loud. Oh, he's so gangsta ghetto. Oh, he just keeping it real. Yeah, well, now he keeping it real. He keeping it so real. See, his racism didn't end. But because you so stereotype on what somebody doing is business. See, I don't hear Jeff Bezos being loud. And he's a businessman on Amazon, 1,000%, got that. Bill Gates is over. There's a lot of billionaires. I don't see them being loud and stuff, but you black folks, like I said, see, all he had to do, see, Trump can't even read. That's how he got over on you. See, but you got to read. See, here's the best part about all of this. See, he's a felon, and he got the highest office. He got 34 felons, and he's the highest office in the land. But you Negroes, y'all got one felony and can't even vote. Ooh, you can't even get federal assistance as a felony. You're too silly. You're too silly. Let me get this right. He's creating embezzlement using federal tax dollars to fund his scheme. But half of you black folks took that PPP loan and went and tried to get y'all a better life. And y'all doing time, got to get a lawyer, and you got a felony. And they seizing your property. Oh, you black folks. Yeah, you sure you didn't read that book? You see, you probably did. Oh, Trump didn't read it. Somebody told him about it. Somebody told him about it. Because if he really read it the way it says in the book, oh, man, it'd be worse than this. 9 months until the presidency, and you still have them dark-skinned coons, mostly men, dark-skinned coons, that are still telling you, I just love you, Trump. That's what Mushmouth said. Somebody should have read the Making of a Slave by Willie Lynch to some of these, but they probably already did. But you know what? I asked a question a long time ago, and I got it. I said, can we black folks be racist? Yes, we are. We're racist against our own. We don't call them out. We let them come in and run amok because they black. We come in and let them do stuff because they black. We don't question their standards and everything. You got black folks that hate black people because you know what, our society went wrong. And instead of trying to encourage them and try to build them up, we tear them down. We tear them down. See, everybody didn't have a good elder. Everybody didn't have a good mother, grandmother. Because see, in the 70s, and we've been, since we got here, our family been sold and broke up. And then our structure of our men have left. And then you wonder why women was put in the society to be the man and the woman. Now the man is coming back and talking about the black man is coming back talking about the black woman. But no, I ain't gonna stop at the black man now. See, the black woman, when she left, she had to be the man and the woman. That's why I don't talk about my son or my children to their father. I don't care how bad the situation was, he's still their father. But see, you black women got daddy issues. You got daddy issues. You hate a woman that succeed over you. See, that's why Kamala she was getting it, but she had all these black women calling her names and stuff and doing all of that. There's so many prosecutors, that have look at Giuliani. Giuliani is a prosecutor, and he prosecuted blacks and whites. But y'all didn't look at that. Y'all looked at her. See, most black women are afraid of a black woman that stand up for herself and can hold on, especially with a white man. See, some of y'all are jealous. Take it out of there, because right now, you suffering, not her. We're suffering, not her. Some of y'all need to read other books. Y'all need to retrain your mind because until we stop looking at, we think that all black folks are we supposed to help all black folks. No, you're not. No, you're not. Because even back then, they had sellouts. You can't unite a black race until you start dealing with the issues that we have. And that is, some of us are still going by the playbook of how to make a slave. And until you get out of that, and don't sit here and say it's your culture. Oh, no, I was raised in the ghetto and stuff. No, we need to stop accepting stuff that is placed upon us. My son, he has a good career. My daughter has a very nice, she's going back to school this time. She did all that. She's stay learning. I used to call him or ask him, what you doing? Nothing. Okay, finding something to do. When my son told me that, Mama, I'm finna drop out of college, had full scholarship. I was paying $1.20 for him to go to school. That's all that was due. That's until he got the full scholarship. Mama, this professor don't like me. I'm finna drop out. He got his. You better go get yours. We didn't raise our men and women to be responsible, because if you knew what responsibility is, then you will understand the meaning of the word voting. And you still sit here and say that voting ain't for you. But if that was not true, why is it that white folks will get out their dying bed? They could be in another country, or they can be on another planet, and they would do their absentee ballots. Why you think that they protecting it? If Donald Trump didn't think that voting was so important, it wouldn't have gave him a rat's ass about how he's trying to restructure stuff now. But black folks are still trying to be, they still on that chapter 7 page of how to make a slave, and that is to tell them misinformation so they won't get up and vote. Tell them misinformation to make them feel like that the voting process is not for them. No, I'm gonna tell you something. America didn't deny you shit. America didn't deny you something. You denied it. When you didn't get up and vote. When you stopped voting. When you sat here and started letting people tell you that voting didn't count. When you sat up here and didn't go to your city council leaders. When you sat up here and you didn't become part of the community. All you did, or better yet, when that dope dealer moved, when his mama let her son grow up and the dope dealer he started dealing drugs in your community, and you didn't call the police because you didn't trust the police. Some of y'all sons should have been dead, should have been in prison. At least he would have lived. See now, black folks still trying to believe, out of all these white folks that's telling you they regret they vote, black folks is still trying to, we are the least, and we are part of the minority. But the black folks still want you to believe that now it ain't affecting them, that Trump got your back. And I still see I don't see too many white folks. I very seldom see white folks on social media talking about Trump and how good it is and how they. I don't see now one white person. I may see, now I take that back. I see one or two. But now you got these old black coons that's coming up now. Oh, he's a good one. Oh, he's this. Oh, he that. Well, he just doing this. Well, they just trying to make you mad. Shut them down. Shut them down. We need to stop sitting up here thinking. And you wonder why the communities and our stuff are disarray. Because you ain't going to get everybody on board. And everybody sold each other out. The Puerto Ricans have sold their own out. The Hispanics and did that. The other people have sold each other out. Whites have sold each other out, you know. But blacks, we've been selling each other out for the longest. And it's time that, you know what, we start calling them out for what they are, for what they doing. Because see, now you got the ones that really know the damage. They quiet. But you still got these coonberries out here trying to sell you a dream that voting don't make no sense. It sounds like when the Indians were gathering up each other to send to concentration camps. Now, what makes you think that he ain't going to do that to us? But see, you black folks still on that how to make a slave book, and you ain't left it. Because that's your Bible right there. That's your Bible. That's their Bible that they reading to you. And you buying it. And you still think you're not a slave.